What's up, Cloud Gamers? Welcome to another episode of CGX Cast. This is episode 69, and this is our first episode of 2022. So we took a little break, but it's good to be back. We have a new member to the panel. Tito will introduce you here in a bit, but we got a lot of the OG members back. So in this podcast, man, we're just going to be reflecting on 2021, just giving you guys a recap of how we felt all the cloud game platforms did. And then we're going to talk about predictions for 2022 and let you guys know what our thoughts on what these platforms are going to do for 2022. So should be a fun one. Again, you guys, we have a poll going up. Let us know who you thought did what, did well, or didn't do too well in 2021. Let us know in that poll as well. But yeah, good stuff. We're going to start by introducing the panel members, and then we'll check in with the viewers afterwards. So to get started, GTP, sir, how you doing? Welcome back. You took a little break. How does it feel to be back, and how was your vacation, sir?
Holidays have been great. I always like the same thing this time of year every year. I like to just chill as much as I can. Don't go to work. Don't make too many videos, and usually go back and play some games that I just haven't had time to mess with or missed. So like end of December and into like January normally, while we're waiting for games to start rolling again after the holidays, I'm always going back and playing like a lot of older games and catching up. So that's kind of like my favorite thing to
Nice.
do during this time.
Nice. What games were you playing, catching up on?
So surprisingly, one that I've been putting a bit of time into is The Witcher 3.
Ooh.
When that game released in like May of 2015, that's about the time we found out my wife was pregnant.
Oh
And
man.
gaming got like switched off for just like a little bit while I got busy and got ready for that. So until like 2018, for a couple of years, I missed out on a few big titles. So like this is that time I go back and start messing with those. And Witcher 3's been kind of the main one I've been trying to get through.
Okay. Cool.
Mostly
Cool.
because season two for me was awesome and there wasn't
Yeah.
enough. So then I went and just started playing the game and I'm like, okay, this will satisfy me for a
Yeah.
while until like God of War PC or Extraction or whatever we're going to get into this month.
Yeah. So are you playing the first one or the third one? Which wish are you on right now?
The third Wild Hunt, yeah,
Ah,
just the third one
great.
right now,
Great
yeah.
one. Okay.
Yep.
Good stuff, man. Good to see you on here, GTP. And again, can't wait to get your take on 2021 and predictions for 2022. But yeah, good stuff. Holtz, how are you doing, sir? What have you been playing? How was your holidays? Fill the
Uh,
people in.
yeah, my holidays have been great, just sitting back with the family, but I just feel like I haven't stopped. I think people have just been dropping me links, dropping this podcast, dropping this. So I feel like I've just been around everyone's community. It's been about games and movies all over the new year. So I feel like I
Yeah.
haven't stopped. Sitting down to play a game, I finally got round to Darksiders 3. I'm up to the same point I was on the PlayStation 4 because I
Okay.
remember I got distracted by, I think it was Uncharted 4 at the time. So now it's on Stadia. I'm finally catching up, finally enjoying it, and finally progressing the franchise because I never finished 3 and I never finished Darksiders Genesis. So I
Yeah.
feel like I'm in a Darksiders mood. So fingers crossed, it'll all go well for me.
Right. Are you playing it on Stadia?
I am. I'm playing Darksiders 3
Okay.
on Stadia because it was a pro game. So I thought,
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
as well utilize what I've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
And
go ahead.
and also I went round to my brother's just to showcase some, GeForce Now, the 3080 Ti. I was showing
Okay.
my non-gamer brother, and he was like, "Wow, this is amazing! It looks like a movie." Because I showed him Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I was like, "No, it's
Ooh,
a game."
good
So
game.
I feel
Good
like I'm trying to,
game.
I feel like I'm trying to twist my brothers to get back into the gaming because they've got kids and a life. So I
Yeah.
feel like I'm trying to get everyone back on board.
So that Tomb Raider 3080 tier is a beautiful game to show off. So good choice of game to show off for sure with the 3080 rig. I just want to know, Darksiders for you though, how was the performance in Stadia? Because when I demoed that game, I was like, man, this ran pretty well, looked pretty good too. I think it was hitting 4K as well. But how was
Yeah, looks
Darksiders
all
for
nice on
you?
my TV when I
Yeah,
tried it. I tried it on the native app and I tried it on the CCU. No stutters, I've
yeah,
had perfect connection. Colors look
good.
great, graphics look great. It's not, I don't look at it and go, oh, it's worse than my PlayStation 4 Pro, but it. it has been running smooth, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
Smooth game all around.
Cool, man. Holtz, it's always good to see. And you're right. I saw you on multiple channels. People send you links. So
I think what
yeah.
happens is, I think because you've took a break on the CGX, I think everyone's just like, yeah, why you've got time? It's like, I don't have time, but I seem to be squeezing them in everywhere.
Right,
So.
right. Good to see you, Holtz. Good to see you. Duncan, sir, how have you been? How was your New Year's? How was your Christmas? And what have you been playing? What platform?
It's been same old with me. I'm playing too many games, and I still don't have enough time to play everything I want to play. I'm being a bit of a lunatic at this moment in time and going replaying the Assassin's Creed series on GFN. Absolutely
Okay.
class. I've got
Nice.
sucked into a Holtz game. It's being Holtz's top 5 games of all time. Surviving Mars. I've just got absolutely playing that.
Do you know what?
It's
The rest of the panel are playing great games that you could say, oh, played that first. The Witcher 3, Final Fantasy 7, 10, and there's Duncan. Mars.
Survival
Bloody- oh, my.
Yeah, and Assassin's Creed, to be fair. And I've also dipped into some Forza. But the game has actually surprised me over the Christmas period. And I played this on Stadia and on GFN as well, is Destiny 2. What the hell's a horse doing in Destiny 2? Can someone explain that to me, please? What is the horse
There's
doing
a horse in Destiny 2?
There's a horse in Destiny 2 now, and I'm going, what the heck is going on with that?
Are you serious?
Yes, it's part of their new wee thing. It's to do with sewer. It's like a couple of wee challenges and things like that.
Like you can ride the horse?
No, you're sitting there shooting at all the aliens and all that sort of carry on, and then you hear this horse making noises during it, and it's going, what the heck is that all about?
They gotta keep the game fresh, Duncan. Just throw a horse in Destiny, man. That'll get people back.
It's just someone dressed as a horse. It's not actual horse. It's just someone winding Duncan up. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is. But I have to say that mode they put into the game is absolutely class and well worth checking out if you haven't, because if you haven't played Destiny 2 in a while, you'll be dropped straight into that.
Yeah, I'm amazed by how many people that game consistently pulls back. Like, I know Rock, is a big one. He always seems to go back to playing Destiny. And I think, Duncan, and I have friends as well. Like, when a new DLC becomes available, they just go back. It's crazy. I can't. I put over 800 hours in Destiny 1 and put about 5 in Destiny 2. I'm just Destiny out, man. But kudos to you guys who jump back every DLC, man. Kudos to you. Good stuff. Duncan, it's good to have you on here. Let's check in. Go ahead.
I'm just going to do a wee tiny wee thing here. Just if you're not a big Destiny 2 player, I think it's Forsaken is now free for everybody until the new DLC comes out, because they're going to be sunsetting that if you want to get into the controversy. Ooh. So if you haven't played that, you can play that for free at the moment.
So, okay. So is there any way to claim it and have it forever, or is it just like a time frame of you got to play it by this time?
You have to play it now, basically. So if you haven't played it, you can go check out that bit of campaign.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. You guys heard it here. Go check it out if you guys want to check out Forsaken and Destiny 2. Gamer, how are you, sir? It's good to see you. How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? And let the people know what you've been playing, what platform.
Yeah, the holidays were great. I relaxed with the family like everyone else, right? Didn't go anywhere, didn't do anything. Kept it safe. In terms of what I've been playing, probably, God, man, like Jerry, I've been on Witcher. I finished season 2, right? And it just it pulled me back. But then I played for a while, and then I remembered why I kind of stopped, and I jumped over to the Division 2. It's just something a little easier to wrap my head around, man. I was like, okay, I am not gonna kill this bear. He can have the lamb. Keep it. I'm out of here. So yeah, that's me, man. Yeah, but it was pretty chill, super low key, and I played Division on Stadia, by the way. Then I jumped over to GeForce Now, which I shouldn't have done that because then I ended up staying on GeForce Now with so yeah.
Okay.
But it was good overall though.
Cool. So just to clarify, why you don't play The Witcher is just a little task that you have to do. Okay.
Yeah. It's just too much, man. I'm like,
Okay.
dude, I do not want to go find this. I really don't. and then you got to hike halfway across the map
Yeah.
and then hike all the way back. I'm like, I am not doing this.
You can ride your horse though.
Yeah, but dude,
It's
I
still-
need
it's
it.
still-
Yeah, that's a little much for me, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear. Cool. Good to have you on here, gamer.
Same.
Yeah, it's pretty cool seeing the people, and it's a test of what a good show can do. Like people are going back to play The Witcher because they just watched season 2 and they want more. But yeah, maybe in the future that combination of TV show, movie plus a cloud game like we talked about previously with Netflix. But yeah, good stuff, gamer. Good to have you. So we have a new member to the panel, Tito. If you guys don't know, we just launched a CGX Espanol channel. So if you guys were wanting, cloud game content Spanish, definitely check that out. But Tito's leading the charge there, and he's gonna be joining here in CGX Cast. So Tito, let the people know who you are, what you do, and what you've been playing, what platform.
Hi everyone. Yeah, so yeah, well, my name is Tito. In Spanish is Tito because I'm Spanish, but I know you English speakers always say Tito, but that's fine. So well, yeah, some of you already know me, especially if there are some Spanish speaker users because I have been heavily involved in the GeForce Now Spanish community. Managing some Telegram groups, some helping with some Twitter accounts and websites, and yeah, that's it. It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And well, in terms of the games that I played during these holidays, to be honest, I didn't play much. Most of my family had COVID, so I had to help taking care of them.
Yeah.
Fortunately, all of them are fine. But I bought several games, with the Epic sales and Steam deals. I bought Desperados 3. I played it a bit this morning. I also bought The Last Stand, Aftermath, Ride 4, motorbike game. I love motorbike games, MotoGP games as well.
Nice.
Some racing games from Milestone called Gravel, which I didn't know anything about, but it was only €3, $3. And that's it, to be honest. Not much time playing, but I'm hoping I'll play all those games that I bought. But I have a big backlog of games that I have to play. So let's see. I love playing games and not playing them. Sorry, buying games but not playing them.
Right. Welcome to cloud gaming, man, where you have a catalog of games that you don't touch, right? But no, good stuff, Tito. Good to hear you gaming. Sorry to hear about your family and COVID over the holidays.
Oh, good. All of them are fine, so nothing major. Thank you.
Yeah. Good to have you on. All right, me myself, I've been playing some Final Fantasy VII Remake using Shadow PC. Still playing NBA 2K22 on Shadow PC, and man, trying to beat Kenna. I beat Life is Strange True Colors finally, so I can check that off my list. The second game I beat 2021. The first being what is it, that Blade Infinity game, right? It was only 2 hours long, so pat myself on the back, beat 2 games last year. Right, still have a huge catalog of games that I need to get to. But yeah, so that's it for me. Let's check in with the chat, see how you guys are doing. And man, you guys are on here. Appreciate you guys being on here. Makers, good to see you, my dude. Happy, good to see you. CGD, good to see you. Hell Monkey, good to see you. By the way, Monkey's back, guys. If you guys haven't been checking out his if you guys haven't been checking out his latest news vids, he's back. Ray, good to see you, my dude. Eddie Play One, good to see you. Zero Games for me, good to see you. Ken, Mr. W, good to see you. What up, Jamie Lee Williams? I'm just you're gonna hear some stuff from Duncan, hopefully. Tyler, good to see you. Victor, good to see you. Cloud Gamer, good to see you. Lawson, good to see you, my dude. Hi, Kyle, I'm gonna call you Kyle. Hope I'm not butchering that name. Good to see you. Hope I see in the chat. And Charles, I think I said what's up to you. If not, hey, good to see you as well. But let's get right into this. So let's start with CES. And again, we're gonna hopefully spend a little time here, and then we're gonna move over to 2021, right? So just gonna open this up. Don't want to spend a lot of time here. CES came. When it comes to cloud gaming, we heard an announcement from Samsung, right? They're gonna be including Google Stadia and GFN with the new 2022 TV. So if you have a old Samsung TV, you will. What is that, Duncan?
Ubopnik.
Huh?
They're also adding Ubopnik.
Oh yeah. Oops. It's trash.
We're not talking about that. No.
It's trash.
I can go
But
tell you now that that's going to be bigger than people realize. That's going to suck
you
in.
think so? So I got so
Yeah.
excited when I saw the announcement, and I, got my 7-day free trial, went to test it. I was really disappointed. But first of all, they only have a PC app, right? So if you want to play it on like your TV, or if you don't have a Samsung TV, but if you want to play in your mobile TV, it's just like the PlayStation Now. It's limited to just PC and exclusive TVs, and then the game selection was trash, bro. I don't know, like.
The reason why I think it's going to be bigger than you probably realize, you may think the game selection is trash if you're a reasonably. I'm trying to word this right, not to offend people. If you are what I would call a console gamer or a PC gamer,
Okay.
a lot of them games will not appeal to you. There's a couple of games which I think are hidden gems in there, but you have to go through them all. But they've got a lot of the total and other casual games which are going to appeal for Job Dogs on the seat or on this TV, and he just wants to play a wee stupid time management game. And games like that, the selection is there for a completely and utterly different audience. So I think maybe for the console and PC gamer, it may not look the best, but the games there do have audiences. Because I know a load of people play them. What's them? The games where you have to find all the different things on the screen, or you have to go around and click on all these sort of things. Again, different audiences, but I think people are going to be surprised in maybe how much that actually takes off.
Okay, we'll see. And again, being on Samsung TV, maybe that's gonna give them that publicity or marketing that they need. Because honestly speaking, this, from what I'm hearing, has been available for quite some time, but I knew nothing about it until this news. But yeah, we'll see how this plays out, and let us know if you guys want us to cover that. I fell asleep trying to do a video on it, so. But if you guys want it, we'll have to revisit it. But I just want to give a shout outs to Superdell TV. Again, if you guys don't know who Superdell is, think about what we're doing for gaming. They're doing that for media format. So the cord cutters, I'm sure you guys have heard of them. So Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max. Superdell he focuses on that. Has a huge following, been following the dude for the longest time. And just to let you guys know, I'm going to be on his show Friday at 3 p.m. PST. So if you guys were interested in what he does, check us out over there this Friday coming up, 3 p.m. PST. But Del, it's good to see you, man. I hope we can continue to collab. I think it's going to be awesome. I think, again, I joke about this. We're like brothers and sisters. We cover similar things. So good to see you in the chat, Del. But let's keep going with this. But Duncan, yeah, CES, Samsung, they're going to be offering cloud gaming to their TV service for 2022 models. Kind of a bummer because I own a 8000 series Samsung TV, and that's not going to be getting any love. So I hope that they can go back and, update the previous TVs. But just want to know, we're seeing this now. I actually have a TLC. Is it TLC TV that I'm working on reviewing. But end of 2021, CES 2022, TV and native cloud gaming apps on it seems to be a big push. Just want to check in with you guys. How significant is this? And do you guys see this like changing the landscape of just cloud gaming as a whole? I know, host, this is something that you're very passionate about. So I'm just gonna open this up to you guys. How big was this at CES? The native apps being available on smart TVs. Anyone hop on?
Well, I'll go first. I love the idea. I was always a big supporter of having native apps on TVs. I don't want HDMI cables at the back of my TV. I don't want to use power plugs. I just want the native app and see what the app can deliver. I remember LG came out and said Stadia and GeForce Now. I was over the moon because LG is my first go-to, but my close on its heels is Samsung. So the next person, well, the next manufacturer to deliver this would definitely be Samsung. I think a lot of people actually love Samsung in the United Kingdom and Europe. So I think this is a big, huge push for cloud gaming, because why not just get a controller, turn on your TV, and there it is in the home menu. All lines up lovely, all your games and all that. You can just jump right in. So, and when I actually seen Samsung TV 2022 TVs, I was like, yes, now invest the money you was going to spend on a PlayStation 5 or local hardware and put it on a lovely display, because these displays with GeForce Now or Stadia is going to blow your socks off. But to me, in CES, one thing that caught my eye was the Samsung Freestyle projector. I thought to myself, Samsung, if you just come out and just say cloud native apps are on that device, I would run out and buy it, because I'll be taking that projector everywhere. I'll be going around the whole house, but on different walls, taking it to the park, I'll be taking it to work. I'll be just so I thought, Samsung, please be serious, bring the apps, update last year's TVs if you can. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see what other manufacturers will come next. Sony, please.
Yeah. Can you tell people more about the Samsung Freestyle projector? What exactly is that, and why does that excite you?
So it's a small like cylinder shape 360 audio device that you can use assistance with, but also if you tilt it down, it's got a 1080 60 fps screen, so you can project up to 100-inch, and it uses a Samsung TV user interface. So if you're used to the sort of user interfaces from your Samsung TVs, you'll be used to this. So imagine just playing your music, then flipping it on its side, project 100-inch TV, and just saying Bixby blah blah blah, play Google Stadia, whatever game, and there it will be projected on a lovely wall, 100 inches. It'll be amazing. And you don't have to connect to a power plug. You can actually charge the battery and take it anywhere. It's a portable device.
Okay.
So instead holding a big, huge TV around, this might be an option for people who actually love all that.
Ooh, is it portable?
Yes.
So no wires.
So you can actually charge the battery up, take the battery, and you can use a micro HDMI as well. But of course, native apps, there'll be like Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix. So imagine if Samsung really want to be serious and actually bring cloud apps, it'll be a thing to.
That's cool. And other companies are gonna copy this. All one company needs to do is just make this like Android TV powered, and you can then get hopefully all your apps. This is cool. I like the concept. Had no idea.
But like I said buying like NVIDIA Shields, CCUs and stuff like that. If you want to just invest your money in the Samsung TV or maybe the LG range, you're definitely going to be on a winner there with the. And I'm sure NVIDIA said that they are looking to upgrade their native app to support higher resolution within a year. So if you invest now, maybe May, June, you might actually see the up to 4K 60 on the services apart from Stadia.
Agreed. Thanks, Holt. Anyone else with CES? What stands out to you guys when it comes to cloud gaming?
I'm curious about the Samsung TV's announcement, because as we all know, the TVs, or the smart part of the TVs, are known for having crappy network cards, crappy Bluetooth modules, and the CPUs are not that great. I know that obviously for cloud gaming, you don't need much CPU power,
Yeah.
but you need a proper network card and a proper good
Yeah.
Bluetooth modem. So I'm kind of curious about how it's going to work on the new TVs. I'm guessing that obviously if it's going to be a new model, they are not going to put some crappy hardware in charge of the Tyson. I think that's how it's called, their operating system.
Yeah.
But I will not have much hopes in terms of getting GeForce Now and Stadia on all their Samsung TVs, because most likely the network cards and the Bluetooth on those TVs is crap.
Yeah, I think when they say Samsung, it's the flagship of games, the flagship of TVs. It's not going to be the budget entry TVs.
Yeah.
Exactly. And as you say, Holtz, in Spain, Samsung TVs are super popular as well, but budget Samsung TVs. When it comes to high end, people buy either Sony or LG. They don't tend to buy Samsung. Of course, I know the new models are going to be, super good, but probably new models from LG and Sony will be super good too. So unfortunately, not many people will benefit from that, but definitely it's good for the adoption. The adoption is increasing. It's good. A lot of people that still doesn't know anything about cloud gaming will just switch on the TV and say, okay, what is this Stadia? What is this GeForce Now? And try it, and probably some of them will end up using it.
Yeah. True. And if they, like you're saying, Tito, if those apps are available right in front of you, right, it definitely would get you curious to want to check it out and try it out. But yeah, I was actually trying to find some of the specs for these TVs to just see, what, kind of Wi-Fi they're running, but I couldn't find any. But what I'm seeing here is that they are pushing 4K 120 FPS. Some of them or even trying to hit 8K, looks like. But anyway, it'll be good to know what these specs are. But I'm assuming this being a premium product, Samsung making premium TVs and devices, that they'll have, and especially if they're trying to push cloud, which, I mean, they made a whole announcement about it. I would assume that they would have the proper right specs for cloud gaming in these TVs. But yeah, I can't wait to test them, man. That's going to be something, we focus on here, is testing these TVs, man. So good stuff. Anyone else? CES, what stands out to you?
I would just talk about NVIDIA and their press conference.
Okay.
I'll just quickly touch on the Samsung apps. I think it's something to keep an eye on going forward. When we talk into 2022, I think my point will become a bit clearer what I'm going to be meaning by that. I think the NVIDIA press conference just showed where GeForce Now is in the minds of NVIDIA. It kicked off the show. There was a big showcase show off. And not only was it GeForce Now, they are embracing the cloud with a lot of the other products as well, where Omniverse and all that sort of carry on. The thing I want to draw attention to is they have gained 3 million more members, or whatever way you want to say it, 3 million more people have signed up to GeForce Now, and that might be free, or it could be paid for. And the thing about that is it doesn't matter if they're free or paid for, they can beat down the doors of the big publishers and developers and go, we have now got 15 million people signed up one way or another to GeForce Now. So they've added 3 million more people in just over 3 months. No matter what platform you're on, that is sort of impressive going. And I think they need to be given the props for that. I'm just curious to see what we're going to see from GFM for the rest of the year, because it is a definite noticeable change there that NVIDIA are really pushing them, and it's front and center.
Okay. I think you're right. I was really shocked when that conference kicked off and GFN was the first thing on the agenda, right? Really cool to see that GFN means that much to them to kick off a show with it. But yeah, good point on that. Anyone else with CES and cloud gaming? GTP, I'm calling. Oh, go ahead, game. GTP, you next, man.
I was waiting on GTP, right? But he's probably waiting on me. So,
yeah,
I see all of this as early road mapping, right?
Okay.
They're setting their intentions moving forward. None of this will be perfect out of the gate. They're simply doing this to prove product market fit. It's something that I mentioned. Every good product professional understands that you throw something out and you see how the public responds, you collect data on it, and then you make it better over time. There, we're in a new generation of, and it started with gamings, right? Games as services, but physical hardware and other platforms have taken on the exact model. They aren't rolling all of the fixes day one. They aren't rolling the optimal performance day one. They aren't doing any of that. They're just giving you the basics right out of the gate and see what they can do with it over time. Some people are much further along, right? Of course, regarding resolution and games and whatever. But in general, I look at it as just early road mapping to see, how the rest of this cloud stuff pan out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So who do you think at this point is doing it the best with, like, early?
If I take a step back and really look at it, I still have to say Stadia, right? I mean, that's, to me, they're further along in terms of resolutions, in terms of, a few things, ease of use, user experience. They're just a little further along for the average television consumer, not for the gamer, not for the PC enthusiast, for the typical television consumer. That's Stadia.
Okay. Fair enough. GTP, sir. What's
So much. Yeah, the TV app thing is the gripe I've always had is their performance, and that's something that we've talked about plenty of times, because even all of us on this panel are old enough to remember life before TV streaming apps. They didn't exist that long ago, and when companies started pushing those, you saw smart TVs, and you saw those start to come out. And to be honest, they were horrid when they first came out. They were horrible at buffering and picture quality. I always have opted for my external box of whatever kind I'm using to run all of my apps. Over the years, it has gotten a lot better for the TV apps, of course. Probably the last 2 years, but now we're just now starting to get the cloud gaming thing going on. So as Gamer was just saying, this is not going to be a perfect situation out of the gate as they add these apps natively to these TVs. And it will be limited for a reason, because of hardware. Like, they're not going to update our older TVs because they just flat out wouldn't run the controller and the streaming and the decoding and everything. It just wouldn't be a good experience. So you're only going to see this on the limited flagships like LG, and now Q2 for Samsung when their TVs come out. So like you, I have the older version Samsung, and I'm probably going to upgrade because I do want to mess with that Samsung gaming hub, not just for cloud, but I love what I see, like the little bit I've seen of that, bringing the consoles, the cloud apps, the advertisements, the list of recently played games across all your platforms that you just click on it and it'll automatically go to that input or to that app. I think Samsung's got something really good there for moving forward with bringing all the gaming, including cloud, to the TVs. So that's something I really want to see, and I want to see it enough that I might get a TV in 2022 to see it, because I usually do. I'm almost always Samsung TVs since I've gotten into 1080p when it came out, and then 4K and so on and so forth. Since like 2007 or so, I've always been Samsung TVs. So I think this is going to be one of their best updates towards gaming that they've probably ever had.
Yeah. I think you all are right on here. What this shows is, these companies, first of all, with cloud gaming, you have all the big tech invested, right? You have Amazon invested, you have Microsoft invested, and you have Google invested. So for those people who saying cloud gaming is not here to stay, these big companies are making these moves, obviously, for a reason, right? So now let's move to electronics.
Quick question, Ace. Quick question.
Go ahead.
Is Google still invested?
Oh, shoot.
I knew I saw Duncan's face too, but I do see a lot of the same thing, Ace, where people are like, cloud's not here to stay. It has come and gone so many times before, but it's not the same as it was before. The investment is different, the focus is different, and whether you jump in or not, or whether you like certain platforms or not, cloud's now never going anywhere. Cloud is now a part of gaming forever.
It's not on live, right? It's not on live.
It's not on live. Don't say
I had to. Just go ahead.
Just before I get thrown under the bus here, spectacularly, Google is invested in cloud gaming. The question is Google invested in Stadia? And them two things aren't mutually exclusive.
So would you say Google is I would say Google is invested in cloud as a whole, as far as like
Yes.
cloud gaming. I don't.
I think they're invested in cloud gaming. I am 100% sure they are
okay, so you're
invested
talking
in
about
cloud.
like white labeling stuff.
Yes.
Then okay.
The
Just for the
question mark
record,
is,
Guys, we'll save that. We have 2 huge segments for all of that. We'll get to all that fun jazz. But anything else for CES that we didn't hit on? All right.
I just want to say that PSVR 2 looks absolutely amazing.
I heard it has cords though. What's up with that?
Yes, it does.
What in the world? They
One
didn't learn
cord,
from
one cord.
Oculus?
Yeah.
It's weird. But yeah, it looks good. People are referring it to the next gen of VR. So I don't know. I got the first one, hardly used it. Have my Oculus, you guys can see back there. Don't even touch it. So I don't know. I think I'm VR'd out, man. But Maker of Chaos will probably kill me if he hears me saying that. But and no, not Mister too. Those two are huge in VR right now. But yeah, I don't know. Have to give it more time. But yeah, anything else with CS before we move on? Okay. So let's do 2021 recap, right? We're gonna target each platform, talk about Duncan, take your hoodie off, man. Talk about how they did, right? And what we feel. We're gonna give them a grade at the end, right? We're gonna talk about how they did and what improvements they can do, and in a way what they did right as well. And then at the end of it, we'll give them a grade. So to get started, we'll start with Holtz and we'll start with Google Stadia. We're going to go down the list. We're going to do Stadia, we're going to do Luna, we're going to do GeForce Now, we're going to do Xbox Cloud Gaming, and Shadow PC. So this is the podcast, guys. We're going to really get to the nitty gritty of these platforms. We're going to grade them and, again, see what they can do to improve. So I'll start with Holtz here. We'll start with Stadia first.
Do you know what? Stadia has been really great to me in 2021. You know, I started off coming from the back catalogue from 2020, and I was a bit worried as well because I thought maybe after the second year won't be as good as the first. And then as I started progressing, it was bringing the games what I was asking for. It was bringing me, Resident Evil Village. It was bringing me FIFA. It brought me all the Ubisofts. It brought me expansions, and it just brought me various stuff. Of course, it did drop the ball in certain other games that I wanted to see, but overall, if you ever said to me what games did you want to see on cloud, I think Stadia did bring the majority of them for me. And not just me, my family. You know, my family was happy to, say, once again playing FIFA, but they were also happy to see Bandai Namco. They were happy to see Paw Patrols. They were happy to see SpongeBob's. I was happy to see Dragon Ball Z's. And I just feel like that I played a lot of genres on this platform in 2021, and I felt they ran smooth as hell. And of course, I only say Ubisoft titles because everyone says Ubisoft, but they did bring. I'm a big Ubisoft fan, so I was really happy to see like Riders Republic and all the Assassin's Creed expansions and past Assassin's Creeds come. And, once again, Stadia has been very nice to me. I bought Far Cry 6 and I bought Resident Evil Village and I got a free CCU. And all year round, I just feel like the sales have just been amazing at certain titles. So I did actually buy a lot of sale titles as well. So overall, it's been a good year for me for what I play.
Okay, fair enough. And I like the family cheer thing, and I know that's big for you because you have a lot of
I have six members that all share the YouTube Premium account and stuff like that. So Stage is already directly tied to it, so I don't have to do nothing. They've all got their own CCUs, and I just click a little toggle switch, add to family, and age appropriate, and they all play. So to me, we're all happy with Stadia in 2021.
Good to hear. How about you? We'll go to Tito next. Stadia 2021.
Well, when it comes to Stadia,
I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I need a grade from you, Holtz. What would you grade Stadia?
Yeah, and also I forgot. Also, I was doing backflips for the LG app as well. Me having this up to 4K 60 experience on a native LG app was just a cherry on the top for 2021.
Okay.
Stadia is going to get a 7 off me. They got an 8 off me in 2020 because I think they had more hitters. They did drop the ball with some titles that I really wanted to see.
Okay.
But I went to another cloud. But it does actually get a solid high 7. So
Okay. So 7 out of 10. Okay.
Or
fair
would you
enough.
like it? Yeah, so B.
B?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Back to you, Tito. What
So yeah, when it
review
comes to
of
Stadia, I'm kind of a bit confused. You
Okay.
know, with Stadia, Stadia has never been my favorite cloud gaming service for different reasons: the price of games, image quality. But
Okay.
still, you know, I was able to differentiate what I value, what I think people value, and I always thought Stadia. If I had to pick one winner for cloud gaming, it would be Stadia. But my opinion, and I see at least from what I have seen on the Spanish Stadia community, 2021 has been disappointed for most Stadia users. I'm not speaking about users who might use other cloud gaming services, but even for most Stadia users, at least from what I have seen, it has been disappointing for most people. I have seen a lot of users who, when Stadia was launched, oh, I'm not going to buy a console again. Why should I buy a console? Stadia is amazing. And several of them ended up buying PlayStation 5 or Series X.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you still can use cloud gaming and have a Series X. I have a Series X or a PlayStation 5. But a lot of people, once they made a switch, they're not going to look at cloud gaming differently.
Yeah.
I totally understand the point that Holz was making in terms that they still are adding games to the service. And depending on what you want to play, you might be quite happy. If you are a Dragon Ball fan, you have Dragon Ball Kakarot. But at the same point, the games that are being added to the Stadia, when those games are new, is games that most people don't care about. And when those games are not new and are popular, like Dragon Ball, for instance, are games that people probably already played 2 years ago. So I'm a bit confused with the Stadia, to be honest. I know they haven't made good improvements. If I remember right, there is a feature where you can stream your games, stream on YouTube live while you are playing. That's great. I wish I had it also on GeForce Now. But I don't know. I think they're losing use. I mean, if I compare at least Stadia January 2021, Stadia January 2022, I think less people is using Stadia than before. Of course, that doesn't mean anything because as long as you have a Google account, you can come back to Stadia. It's not like, oh, I'm going to use it never again. I still have my Google account, right? My Gmail.
Right.
But I think, I don't know. It's strange. I don't know. I think they are going to be a winner. Still, I think they are going to be a winner, even if it's not my favorite service, even if, they are almost dead. I think in the long term, they will be a winner, not as a white label service, providing cloud get the network infrastructure for the providers. I think Stadia will win, but I got no clue when, to be honest. And it doesn't look like it's going to be anytime soon.
Yeah. Okay. Give them a grade. What would you grade them? 2021.
For 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know. So we have Holtz at 7 out of 10. We have Tito at 3 out of 10. All right.
This happens each year. Every time I say a number, you go the opposite, and then when I say the opposite,
direction. All right. So let's check in with gamers. Rate Stadia.
Are we going with the number out of 10, or are we going with like a letter grade?
Let's do the numbers.
Yeah, do the numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I agree with both Tito and Holtz, right? I think I'm in between both of these guys because for me, Stadia still meets the need. I'm a big Madden player, right? That's the only place I can play Madden in the cloud, unfortunately. And when I say unfortunately, because there's no community, right? I play the same 5 people. I know exactly what the same 5 people are going to run every play. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm playing this guy again. Okay, cool, let's go. Right. So that's a pain.
Yeah.
It hurts. But it's a good, quick cloud fix, right? So I got to give them kudos there. They are meeting a need for me in terms of the other games and when comparing them to what others have done in 2021. I don't believe Stadia's feature releases were anything to write home about. Right? They released some control thing where some controller and phone deal that I guarantee you less than 1% of the community used. Everyone probably touched it to see what it was, but it's something that they'll probably never create a version 2 of, right? People don't care about that. It stinks. It isn't a good feature. And then they released a few games that were okay, nothing to write home about, like Tito said. I mean, the stuff I played a long time ago. But if Stadia is all you have, you are happy. But fortunately, Stadia isn't all we have in general. So when I grade this, I have to compare it to everything. And I probably sit Stadia with like a 5 out of 10.
Okay. 5 out of 10. So 7.35. Okay. Good to know. You ready for this, GTP?
Yeah, let's do it.
You notice I'm saving Duncan for last here.
Oh, you gotta, man. For Stadia, you gotta. Anyone that knows anything about Stadia and Duncan, he's got to be last.
Last, right? GTP, go ahead, man.
Oh man, poor Stadia. I gotta say, I was so much more hyped this time last year, coming off of 2020, with Stadia and the amount of connects. And even though there was some disappointing stuff and we didn't always get what we wanted, there was more interaction. There was just a lot more going on. To their credit, Stadia being pretty much the only console experience in the cloud, which makes it the most convenient. Trying to launch a new console locally would be challenging enough these days. Trying to do that in the cloud is even more difficult. And they certainly haven't helped themselves with marketing and their own exclusives shutting down and that type of thing. And I think 2021 was a year of treading water for Stadia, where they had a set deal, of games they knew were coming. They brought all the games that they said they would basically for 2021. They hit their goals, which were goals we already knew about. What the bad thing is we didn't get much in 2021 as far as any more information. Like we didn't get a lot of new stuff as far as what's going to be coming for the future. And in my opinion, the ports we were getting in the beginning compared to what I would call mid through end of 2021, they just weren't as good. The performance, speaking of just the performance, too much 30 FPS for me. It's great. I was using Stadia for my Ubisoft titles, like Division and stuff like that. Really liked going there because it is the most convenient way to launch your games in the cloud and play, and it just runs better on more devices for me. That's just, I don't always love the image quality, but Stadia does tend to just be quicker and run decent on a bunch of devices. But when you're giving me Far Cry 6 and Riders Republic and stuff at 30 FPS in the cloud, it was rough for me. So I had to switch over and do different things. So Stadia's had a very up and down kind of year with performance of games. I don't think they did enough to turn marketing around, except they did do better in the past couple months of the year. If I was just going to give them a grade for the whole year, I'm going to be slightly nice and maybe go with a 6. It's a good bit lower than what I was thinking. I think I'll go with a 6 because they did keep promises as far as like what they said they would bring, features they were working on, the game count they were going to bring. It may not have been for me. I didn't like a lot of the ports and performance and different things going on, but I'll sit with a 6 for them because I think that even though there are a lot of disappointed Stadians out there, there are plenty of people that Stadia did okay for them. So,
okay, fair enough. Thanks for that, GTP. All right, here we go.
All right,
Duncan, let's hear it. Give Stadia. Oh wait, okay, 6. All right, we got you. Great. Sorry, Duncan, go ahead.
Yeah, leaving me to the end. You're just a troll, and you just
That's
think I'm
right.
just going to go. I'm just going to dunk on them. I'm going to say spoilers alert. I'm actually going to be giving the Tyrant Tito. So there you go. There's your spoilers for. I think GTP stole up by what I was going to be saying. This time last year, Stadia came into the year and they had something which is really, really difficult to have, and that's momentum. They had momentum with the game which shall not be named. running well there. Everybody was enthusiastic and where the platform was going. Then we had Hitman coming out, and then Madden dropped. So January was absolutely pretty decent for Stadia, even though they didn't do any communication. But we don't talk about the communication until the end. Then shutting down the studios is just the overhanging thing for the whole year for them. And it has just totally and utterly sucked a lot of confidence out from the platform. And you cannot run away from that. You cannot, oh, it's a new platform, or it's a new this, it's new that. That decision is going to be telling for the years to come. Even if they decided to start back up today, you're going to still going to take 2 or 3 years down the line for them to see the fruits of that. They did do a number of good things this year. Let's get the good things out. We had a number of them features, a lot of them which I thought were a bit silly, but they still brought them out, which was absolutely class. They brought out State Share, which I have been really looking forward to, but as per Stadia, they didn't communicate it, and it was half-assed and put it in places where they didn't really need to bring it, like Hitman. Just so many missed opportunities with some of the features they have brought. The game situation, the games, we had a couple of big games. We like Resident Evil with the the £20 million port, or the $10 million port for that. But it was great to see them games come out. But now we're looking into the future here. Sorry, I've actually got.
Okay, we're gonna get to the future.
No. Well, this is just plainly talking.
Okay.
This year, games have actually regressed, and I don't think people can really argue with the regression of the games. We've lost NBA, we've lost MotoGP, we've lost F1, we've lost Judgment.
Yeah.
This follows on from Football Manager in 2020, and looking into next year, we're just looking very, very briefly into next year. Final Fantasy, Grid, Sniper Elite, and Borderlands. The new ones in them franchises aren't coming, and I'm not talking about Final Fantasy 16. I'm talking about Final Fantasy Origin, and that's due in the first couple of months. Okay. I'm hoping next week when Stadia does its blog post again. I think that just totally and utterly sums up Stadia. Everybody else has got blog posts out that this week. Stadia, no, we're just back at the office. It doesn't matter. We just need to. See something out from there to get people excited, because Stadia is the only platform you're not allowed to get excited about game conferences or anything like that. Stadia is a new platform. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. It's a new platform. And you go into any sort of gaming event and you have to go in with no expectations. I want Stadia to come out next week and say they've got X, Y, and Z game coming to Stadia this year. If it's an atypical blog post, which is going to say there's 2 games coming to Stadia this month. It's not Resident Evil. It's Extraction. And what's the other game? There's another game coming out.
Avatar?
No.
Life is Strange.
Yeah, something along them lines. Yeah. If it's just games that we know about and no big hitters, I think it's going to be a big disappointment. So I'm going to give Stadia a 4 out from 10 for the year.
Whoa!
And the reason why it's a 4, it is not because Stadia is a bad service or it's you can't play on it or anything like that. For me, the service has regressed. Okay. And you can't. Fair enough. With the games, it isn't because you can't use Stadia, blah blah blah. No, it's just it has fallen behind the other competitors, which we're going to come to, especially for me, GFN. I think GFN have taken the ball. It's went backwards this year for me, and I'm just hoping next week we're going to hear something. We probably won't, but I'm hoping that we will.
Sorry. J Smith, man.
Yeah. I would like to know what if I have said which is wrong.
No, I don't think it's no. I hear you. Again, people here entitled to their opinion. And yeah, I mean, it's true. You'll hear a lot of things that you said is going to be echoed amongst most panel members here. But yeah, I I mean, that's your grade, right? So we gotta respect that, right? But I haven't gone yet, guys. Where am I gonna rate Stadia for 2021? You guys will be surprised, actually. This was my gaming platform. So something to know about me, guys, is I only cloud game. I don't own any consoles. So my goal is to play all my games in the cloud if I can, right? And Stadia was my go-to platform. I was really excited with the way they started off. Again, you guys have said it on here again, Hitman, day and date, getting Outriders, day and date, getting Resident Evil Village, day and date, getting Judgment Remastered, day and date. Beginning of this year, I know GTP was saying like performance, was capped at 30 for some of the games. But honestly, to me, being that I only play in the cloud, it's not that big of a deal. I can live with 30. But something I noticed at the end of the year is these games, they just stopped getting these same day release AAA games. It almost felt like, all the games that it got in the beginning of the year was deals that they made the previous year. And that is something that concerns the heck out of me with this platform, right? I would love to see them. I mean, 2021, I felt like was the year where they laid the foundation for Stadia. The features are out there, right? We know this works. It's available. They have an official app for the Google TV dongle, right? It's available for more TVs. I feel like the foundation has been laid for Stadia. It's still the only service that does 4K 60 on Android TV without needing an NVIDIA Shield, right? So they're good. They're good. Now, all they have to do is get more games. And that, we're going to get to the future, but they dropped the ball with that at the end of this year. So I was really hyped up with this platform. Even when the first party studio shut down, they still did a good job with getting AAA games. That's what I want to see, right? If they're not going to create their own games, I would love for them. I want Stadia to be that platform for me that gets every AAA third party game. That's all I want. I don't want to have to rely on GFN. I don't want to have to rely on, I know Xbox has their own exclusive, but if it's coming out third party, I want to play it on Google Stadia. And so to me, they did it in the beginning of the year, dropped the ball at the end of the year. So I would grade them a 7.5. I would. Now, if they would have
My God.
if they would have continued with that consistency of bringing NBA 2K, right? We missed that. We did get Far Cry, right? But again, we know Call of Duty is nowhere to be found. But going forward, if they just can bring those games consistently and get the performance to work well, I would rate this like 8.5, right? The reason it dropped to 7.5, I was actually thinking the 7 out of 10 is because at the end of the year, they dropped the ball. But I feel like platform-wise, this platform is that the foundation has been laid. They just got to work on marketing, number one, letting people know about this platform, getting it to more places. Number two, getting games. If Stadia can do that in 2022, people are saying they need to upgrade. Personally, I don't think they need to, right? We see games like Doom Eternal, we see games like Cyberpunk 2077 run pretty well on this platform, which tells me can handle AAA games, right? If they can just get these games to market better, I feel like Stadia still has a lot to showcase in 2022. So they get my 7.5, but that's where I leave it. But yeah, that's Stadia, guys. We still have another 3 or 4 more to grade, right? So next on the list, let's start with Xbox Cloud Gaming. We'll start with GTP here. Where would you rate 2021 Xbox Cloud
Old
Gaming?
Xbox Cloud Gaming. Oh, I've had such a love-hate relationship with Xbox Cloud Gaming. Let's see. They've definitely built fantastic momentum for 2021. A little bit opposite of what my feelings have been with like Stadia. The Series X blades coming was a big deal because, to be honest, for me personally, xCloud was completely unplayable until May of 2021 when they implemented the Series X blades everywhere and we started getting the solid 1080p 60. We started getting 60 FPS games. I know you're okay with 30 FPS in the cloud. I can't do it, man. I can't play a single 30 FPS in the cloud. But even more importantly, outside of each of our own gaming bubble, the mass market out there is looking for 60 FPS and above as well.
Yeah.
Most gamers have well moved on from the world of 30 FPS. So seeing that come for Series X was a big one, and I immediately was able to start playing xCloud. I mean, the day that went live, it changed for me, and I was able to start really enjoying a lot of games in xCloud. I think they've made improvements from May to December continually, because the stream has been very iffy for me and a lot of people as far as bitrate, like the blockiness of the stream, and I know that's something you've had your complaints about, just wanting to clean up that 1080p stream. Even before we get to 4K and 1440p, that 1080p stream for a lot of us needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But latency has been extremely good for me with them as to where it was horrible before. So if you're looking at content as well, Xbox day one releases for Game Pass and a lot of those hitting cloud is a big one. I think they have been, they may not have added the sheer quantity of games like a service like GFN or whatever, but the quality of the games and these day ones. And now we're about to get Extraction on console, cloud, and PC for Xbox with that. So that's really awesome. I'm going to throw them an 8 out of 10 for 2021 because of the improvements from it going from a service that I couldn't even touch to something that I actually enjoy and play and use almost every day for some reason or another for Xbox. So I'll go with an 8 out of 10 for them.
Sure. Good grade. Good grade. How about you, gamer? Where would you rate Xbox Cloud Gaming?
Okay, so just to clarify how I'm rating every one, right? I'm looking at what they did for 2021, like not overall what the service is when you combine it with 2021. I'm breaking out, hey, these are the improvements that they made in 2021 and how impactful were they.
Okay.
So for xCloud, I agree with GTP rolling out the Series X blades, day one exclusives in the cloud and console and PC. It's really hard to beat them content-wise, right? They cleaned up the stream quite a bit compared to where they were. It's still not as good simply due to infrastructure for the mass market. I mean, some people out there love it, some people hate it. And I think they need to work on that for 2022. Screw 4K, just build out the infrastructure. Because if you do that, you are winning. You're going to run away with this thing. So overall, I'd grade them probably a 7.5 to 8. Very similar. Yeah.
Nice. Good grade overall. How about you, Tito? Where would you grade Xbox Cloud Gaming 2021?
Well, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. The reason why is I remember how xCloud was on January 2021.
Yeah.
It wasn't that good. Yes, I was happy I could test it, because we are cloud gaming enthusiasts. So I was happy I could test it, but the latency, the input lag wasn't good at all. Picture quality, it wasn't good either. At that time, it was only available on phones, but we are geeks, so we still tried on our Android TVs.
Yeah.
And by the end of the year, input lag, the latency has improved a lot. Image quality has improved as well. To be honest, I didn't thought that we will have the Series X blades ready for Q3 or Q4 2021. I know they said they would, but you know how some companies work when it comes to promises, They keep delaying. So I was super impressed to see that they could meet their deadlines. So yeah, I mean, it surpassed my expectations when it comes to 2021, but still, I just give it a 7 because it's still not good enough. I wasn't expecting so much improvement, so many titles. Even on social media, you see that they are constantly tweeting about xCloud. So for them, it's quite important, not just for Series X or Xbox One owners, but also because they see this is the future, and they want to probably get those casual users that don't want to buy a console, right? But even if there has been a lot of improvement, more than what I was expecting, there's still a long way to go, especially in terms of image quality. That 1080p is not good enough. But anyway, I gave them a 7 because I think they have improved a lot within 1 year.
Yeah, good grade, good grade. Duncan, you next, sir. Where would you grade Xbox Cloud Gaming?
Xbox arguably could be said they've made the biggest improvements this year in just the number of steps they've made. They're bringing their games. They're setting the groundwork. I think people are asking where do you see everybody? For me, Xbox is in pole position, and I think for moving into the cloud era, just because they've got the content and they've got the buy-in from the top end of Microsoft. They're fully committed to them. This year has seen them make absolute massive strides, and I have no bother playing an xCloud now. I'm in the lucky position where most of the time it's not as good as Gamer TV's, because if you've seen his streams, he's got absolutely awesome ones, but it has passed a good enough stage for me for xCloud. I can sit down and play it. I do want them to make a big improvements there as well. I want to be able to buy the games on xCloud, just to bring my library wherever I go. It's been I think they've set themselves up well, and they just need to clean up things and just continue on with their tweaks, what they're doing. The game library that they're bringing, even if they just stick with the Game Pass, it is arguably, for me now, if I'm going to say where would I tell people to try cloud gaming now, I would probably push them to Xbox if they are a console gamer ahead of other platforms at this moment in time. There's Holtz, I thought Holtz was lurking there for the microphone there. No, but that's where I think Xbox have made their big improvements now. I think they are in a brilliant position. Moving on to the Series X, I didn't think they would do it this year. They talked about it with the limited supplies, and they still managed to do it. I'm just really happy for where they're going. I just want to see who they're going to be banned next, to see what other games we get on the Game Pass. Because the move they've made this week with putting what's it, Rainbow
Extraction.
Six
Yeah.
Extraction on that. I'm not going to put anybody under the bus here, but I think that has changed people's minds and where they're going to be playing that in the cloud and other places now, with that going on the Game Pass. And this is the sort of moves we're going to see more of going forward. So for me, for Xbox, I was between 7.5 and an 8. I'll go 7.5 because I think the quality of their streams needs to be a bit better.
Okay. Fair enough. Good grade, Duncan. Holtz, where would you grade Xbox Cloud Gaming?
Oh, they definitely need a solid 7 again. Just like Stairs, solid 7. They've just been absolutely amazing for me this year. You know, I mean, I started the year off with like the Yakuza remastered series, and I was really hyped up to hear like Outriders was coming day and date. I remember like Destiny Beyond Light was coming, and you know, what I mean, then the Blade upgrades, and then there was other games that I was really excited when they brought to the Game Pass, like Scarlet Nexus, Doom Eternal. They all brought games that I was really really excited for coming to the cloud. So they upped their game, and of course, when then Blades came, they dropped the games like Forza, Horizon 5, and Halo 5, and I just had a great experience on the cloud. To be fair, xCloud has not really been buggy for me. It runs smooth. I've really been enjoying it, and it's just run better since the Series X plates. So I've just had a great year, you know, chugging along with this service, and I know it's going to get better for the next few years. So I'm one of them people where I do recommend xCloud and Game Pass.
Okay, fair enough. Just like Stadia, I feel like Xbox Cloud Gaming this year laid a pretty good foundation, right, for cloud gaming and what to expect coming 2022 this year, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, I you know, the fact that they got most of the AAA first party games onto the platform the fact that you didn't need to purchase a console to play the latest Halo and Forza is something you can. I mean, that's really impressive. They're the only people doing that, right? Again, Sony's not even doing anything close to that. So kudos to them for that. As far as performance, you guys were right. I think Tito was saying, I remember it was family vacation house when that went live, and just the night before I was on it playing it, performance was terrible, 720p, and it's just so cool how instantly overnight, performance boost, and that was really cool. That was the first. I mean, Sony did with the PlayStation Now, right, from 720 to 1080p, but just being able to go back, test every game, and seeing that performance boost was really impressive for Xbox Cloud Gaming. So that was pretty cool. But there's still stuff that I would like for this platform to do going forward. Again, we'll talk about that later in the show, but I would grade them. I would say 7 overall for Xbox Cloud Gaming. Performance wise, very inconsistent. And that's my biggest thing with them. Duncan, you were saying you would refer people to Xbox Cloud Gaming when it comes to just like gaming as a whole. I would say that is the least platform, honestly speaking, that I refer. It's just very inconsistent for me to just be like, you know what? I want you to have the best cloud gaming experience. Go test out Halo here. Because they might get a good experience, they might get a bad experience. So, like, I'm not going to risk that. Again, the thing with cloud is once you have a bad experience, that pretty much can mess up your perception of cloud as a whole. So, go ahead.
This is why I come back to you. The Xbox aren't selling this as a cloud service, so people are normally going to be a bit more lenient towards Xbox. It's just value added. The reason why I would say for people to try Xbox over the other ones, it is just because you can get in there for £1 or $1 for a lot of the times, and
True.
you'll have that, and then you'll have access to what's about 200 odd games on the cloud now, and most of them are there's a hell of a lot of crossover between what games you can get on Stadia, GeForce Now, and Luna on Game Pass for that low amount. That is why would recommend people to give that a try. And I forgot to mention this. Well, I was actually responding to Jimmy in the chat here. For me, one of my best experiences on Xbox cloud gaming is playing it through the console. Playing it with that is absolutely phenomenal for me. I was playing Doom Eternal, and people are going to laugh and say I'm talking out from the backside, but it was one of the best places I've actually played it. It just ran phenomenally well for me. I was getting no jitter. It looked great on the screen, and yes, I was playing it through the cloud. Again, this is the thing. Options are out there, and we're living in that sort of time now.
True. No, I hear that for sure. But yeah, that's my take. Again, 7 I think is pretty cool around. That was I would say the average score, 7 to 8. So yeah, that's the Xbox Cloud Gaming grade. Let's move on to Amazon Luna 2. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll do it, man.
They get it 2 for me.
It's a quick one. This should be quick, easy. Like, let's not linger.
Oh man, go ahead, GT. Take it away. Man.
Look, for quite a while, what I was using Luna for was actually my Ubisoft games, very similar to what I was doing with Stadia. I love that Ubisoft Plus subscription for my PC, for Shadow, for Max settings, for Luna, for Stadia. I'm playing all those games in all those places for that one sub. So that's kind of been what I use those a lot for. Luna is a very tough one to grade. I'm not going to say because it's in beta, because xCloud also is in beta, and we're all sitting here praising and grading and doing that type of thing. But they really have moved extremely slow. And I said that's kind of what they were going to do for 2021. I don't quite remember what I was talking about last year, but I think it was something like don't expect a lot. Like they are in a very slow burn, slow build up. If they've got the Twitch integration, they've got the couch feature that came. They've definitely cleaned up the 1080p stream. I could tell as the year went on that they've done a lot in the back end to get the tech working, and I think that's what a lot of this has been over the past year and a half with Luna and with the beta and US only and that type of thing is getting the infrastructure ready and nailing some things. Because one big thing I'll give to Luna's credit is they will not take a game under 60 FPS. They don't exist. Every game you load up is going to be 60 FPS. And for me in the cloud, just knowing that and going in and getting that performance, that's where they've really hit the nail on the head for me this year. Is they've really been locking down quality control and performance in the games that they do have. It's extremely limited, but I think that when Amazon's ready to turn the switch on and get Luna going, they'll actually be ready for it so it doesn't fall out of the gate and perform horribly for a large chunk of people. Because like you were saying earlier, if you refer someone to try a cloud service and it fails for them, they're not likely to go try the next 5 to see which one works, right? So I think that they're smart in the way they're doing that, but it is taking a long time for a lot of people. I'm going to set Luna at a 6 out of 10, only because I would have given them a higher grade if they expanded globally while making the same improvements that they have now. Even if the libraries didn't grow a lot more, even if we kind of still had that same kind of thing going on, if they would have expanded to more people globally and been able to get that out there, I'd give them a higher score. But I can see what they've been focusing on, and I'll sit with a 6 out of 10 for them for now.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Holtz? Where would you rate Luna?
Of course, this year I've been very bitter towards you, Luna, because they haven't brought it to the United Kingdom or Europe. So there's me with my salt. But this is a platform that I am really jealous that you guys have got it, because over the year they have brought games that I would love to play in the cloud. So I'll just roll some off, like Alien Isolation, Castlevania Anniversary, Grid, No More Heroes 1 and 2, Wonderful 101, Devil May Cry, Yeast 8. Yakuza 0, Yakuza Like a Dragon. They've got all the games that I would love to play at that small price of entry. So to me, that sounds amazing. But, I can't talk about the quality, but I can just talk about the games, and the feature of that couch feature really interests me, and Twitch integration really interests me. So it does interest me, but I've not played it to give it a high score. So I have to go in with a good frame of mind and say a solid 5.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Tito? Where would you rate Luna?
So as usual, I'm gonna give the lowest score. I think 4 out of 10. Yeah.
Ooh,
Reason why is for the record, I live in London, but I'm Spanish. At the moment, actually, I'm in Spain, so I haven't been able to test it properly. Of course, there are ways to test it, so I was able to test the service. Picture quality, it seems good to me. 1080p. Good quality, I will say better quality, picture quality than Stadia. The latency, considering that I had around 100 milliseconds from London and from Spain to USA, it wasn't that bad considering that, it's 100 milliseconds latency. That's a lot, at least for me. So the latency wasn't that bad, but I haven't been able to test it, as you guys there in USA. What I was expecting is, if I remember right, Luna launched on October or November 2020. So to be honest, I was expecting that by October, November, or even earlier 2021, it will be already available in Europe, which isn't the case. So it doesn't seem that they have done much. And I'm sorry if I'm saying it, because I'm sure there is people working on the background, to make it possible to launch it in Europe. But I don't fully understand the reason why it's not available in Europe. Although I'm not going to complain, because Luna is in beta, but it's a paid beta, and I always feel some type of way with those paid beta services. Of course, no one is forced to pay, the service is beta, so you pay it if you want to. I don't know, but it doesn't feel right, that you are paying for the beta, they're basically using you to test the service. Pay people, to test the service and then launch on the market. But anyway, this is how it works. And as I said, no one is forced to pay for it, okay? They say beta, so you want to pay it. We don't know as well what's going to be the price once it's out of beta, because if I remember right, current price is during the beta. So it's difficult for me to rate them. As well, as I said before, I was expecting that by this time it would be already in Europe. When I say Europe, obviously I'm including UK. And I was also expecting that by this time they will have 4K streaming, which they don't. I don't know if it's because maybe they have to buy the GPUs from Nvidia, and we don't know what happens with the GPUs nowadays. So yeah, I'll give them 4 out of 10 just because they are not even in Europe yet. I
Okay.
think once they do, well, I will give my thoughts about once they do, knowing what can happen with Luna in 2022. But yeah, now it's 4 out of 10. I was expecting more. To be
Okay.
honest, they're going too slow. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Average 4 or 5 for Luna. Gamer. I mean, I know this is your platform, so I'm curious to see where you would grade this platform for this year.
Yeah. I think some plans they probably had for Q4 they rolled back, pushed back a bit. We've seen a few leaks, right? Those were things that they were planning to roll out in Q4, but for some reason pushed them back. But regardless, I'd say the impact wasn't that drastic, as GTP hinted. It was a QA year for them to shore up the platform, make sure everything is rock solid, and it is. I mean, I think out of all of the platforms, if I take GFN out of there, Luna is probably the most consistently performing across all titles. Everything looks great, everything runs great. But as far as impact, I gotta give them a 3. I mean, they didn't do enough.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Duncan, where would you rate this?
I would give them a 10 out of 10 for the year. I'm just doing that for the troll. No, for me, this has been a big disappointment of the year. I thought it would have even ventured over to our fair shoulders over here in the UK at the very least. Just to do that. It's just been a year of ticking over, making announcements and actually following through with their announcements. They've added their new channel. They've announced their retro channel. For me, the biggest I'm trying to put biggest shock for me from Luna this year was New World, and no one else touched on the New World not coming to the platform. And I'm going, what's the crack there? It's really, really weird that has not come. We do know what is coming. It's just when it is coming is a question mark. So it's Luna's just frustrating for us over here because we just can't really get access it. So we're just looking at this through your eyes, basically, and what you guys are saying. So for me, this year has been a 4.5 for Luna. It is, you can see that they are making progress. They are going really, really slow. But the New World, what's that game coming out next month from Amazon? The MOBA game. Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Will that hit Luna? That's another question mark there. So there's a lot of question marks with Luna going forward, but you have to give them some props for putting the money where their mouths is with the cloud or with the gaming awards, pushing cloud gaming through there all the time there. And the amount of paid streams they do to all the different streamers, no matter what size, from smaller ones to the bigger ones, they are trying to make moves, but it's just really, really slow.
True. Oh wow, 4 seems to be the average score, and that's just realistically speaking, that's what I'm gonna grade it to. I feel like a lot of you guys have pretty much said what I'm gonna say about this platform. Yeah, potential, but the rollout has been extremely slow. It's like, why did you even announce this platform? I think Chief said it best. They were triggered by the moves that Stadia was making, and they just wanted to come out and let people know that they have something in the works. But realistically, I don't think Luna's anywhere close to being ready. I mean, it runs great, but again, still limited to 1080. Just they have only 3 channels right now. And I mean, they build and they grow and they laying the foundation just like Google Stadia and Xbox Cloud Gaming did 2021, but I just feel the rollout is just extremely slow, and yeah, they gotta pick it up, man. They gotta pick it up. So 4 out of 10 for me for Luna. So I'm debating if we should grade. We're gonna grade GFN, but the other two, Shadow and PS, I think we're gonna, for the sake of time, because I do want to get in 2022 stuff. So GFN, let's end with that, and then we'll go to 2022 predictions, right? So we'll start with Holtz in this one. Give a grade for GFN 2021.
Oh, do you know what? This is one service that's just been a love-hate relationship all year round. You know what I mean? I can praise it for like Kenner Bridges Spirits and Guardians of the Galaxy and bringing Death Stranding and bringing Eastern games like Swan Yan 7 that I'm really impressed by, but there's just too many games this year that I've named that have came out on Steam and Epic where I think it's not came to the platform. And then all my past games on my Steam library and Epic library has not transferred over yet. So that's why I've bashed it. But me playing the 3080 tier, the stream has been absolutely amazing. Yeah, I've had great times. I've been showcasing it to other people, but I only get that stream quality because I had to invest in the hardware. I had to invest in the Shield TV because I couldn't play up my Xbox browser, my iPad. There was limitations on the resolution, the frame rates, or the accessibility of it. So that's where the love-hate relationship. So I feel like I want to give it a...
Well, at least I'm a bit of control mode since the control. At least you're getting a proper 4K.
Yeah, exactly. So in the end, like even when I actually get my native app TV, I get 1080. So in the end, it's not 4K all the time, is it, on the devices that I play on? So I feel like I've been restricted, but it's a service that I want to love. I want to give a 5, but I don't think it deserves. I think it definitely needs a 6. Overall, but like I said, I'm in 2 frames of mind because, like I said, there's been really good times. I've really enjoyed it, and then there's been the problems with like authorize and logins with Ubisoft Plus and Epic. There's just been problems, but overall, I feel like the games that have been on the service, I actually have enjoyed, even though I sound like I've been whinging quite a lot for more games, which they should bring more games, by the way. So,
okay.
Oh, man, you gave 7 Stadia. You're giving 6 to GeForce Now. Come on, man.
Yeah, but it's about growth. See, that's the point. That's opinions.
I love it. I love
like
it.
I said,
I love it.
I can sit there and whinge and go. I can always whinge and go, where's FIFA? Where's my Dragon Quest? Where's me blah 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 blah.
No,
name that. But the games that it's got,
yeah,
especially with ray tracing.
I'm just kidding. Yeah,
we've been. I think my grade is gonna be similar to yours as well, because we've been in this, talked about this, the games, right? But yeah, let's get to GTP, sir. Where would you rate this?
Oh my goodness! All right, so GFN is definitely they're top dog as far as tech goes now, and I think that you've talked about foundations being laid a ton in 2021, and I think that is the case for everybody. And what GFN did was really get a jump on that, on the tech foundation. And I know where Holtz is at with the content, and I know where you're going to be at with the content. It's going to be a little bit different from where PC gamers such as myself or Duncan might lay with where the content and how good that has been all year for PC gamers, and the games that have come to the service, because NVIDIA is for the PC gamer. GeForce Now is for the PC gamer. Yes, it's expanding out, and that's great to see it go out to more people and those who want to just play cloud gaming. But the target from them, they're pulling from over 1 billion PC gamers. So they're very smart in how they're pushing the service and marketing. And when they came with 1440p 120 and 4K 60 on the TV, because no PC gamers really necessarily pushing 4K 60 these days. We still don't care. We'd rather be 1080p 240 hertz or 1440p 120 or higher. 4K 60 sitting here at our PC screen, we don't really care about that. So bringing that to the Shield, to the TV, they knew exactly what their market was. And I think that's the 2 big things I loved about GFN in 2021, knowing who they're marketing to and bringing the proper product for that group of people. Bam. And that's exactly what they did. will talk about the future, but all they have to do now is concentrate on content, as where there are many others that are going to be catching up on tech and content. So I think they've laid great foundation for that, and I'll give them, they've had the biggest improvements and they've really set new bars, so they'll be a 9 out of 10 for me for 2021. Yep.
Wow.
And they've brought some
Okay.
of the most popular Steam PC games out all year. So everyone will have a different opinion about content, and that's great. But the fact is, they knew their audience and they brought it. So 9 out of 10.
There we go. 9 out of 10. Gamer, where would you rate GFN?
All right, so again, sticking to this theme, it's hard to battle my grade for them simply because they changed the game. This year alone, they jumped in and they changed cloud gaming. No one else did that. Only GFN took it to the next level. It's like, okay, now we're the rabbit car. Everyone chase us, and it happened overnight, essentially. Content, I can't complain about the games, man. They spoiled us. If Xbox, Luna, Stadia, I mean, come on, the games we're complaining about that they don't have, the other platforms don't have them either. So when I'm grading them overall, I'm gonna give them I almost cursed, but I'm gonna give them a 10.
What is happening here?
Right out
What's
of the gate,
going
man.
on?
They killed it. They changed the game.
Okay.
It's like when Michael Jordan started wearing longer shorts.
Oh, he went to
he signed the
Jordan.
deal with Nike. He changed the game.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
he got rid of the Daisy Dukes in the NBA. That's changing the game. That's big time. You can't go back on that.
Wow. Okay, you heard it here. 9 GTP, 10 gamer. Let's go to Duncan. Let's keep this high number momentum going.
Yes, all I'm going to say is that the guys have just rocked it like there. The question they asked the panel, I'm going to ask this question to you, yes, and you, Holtz. If you've got a choice of where you want to play your game now, a game launches on Stadia, Luna. Sorry, you have to buy the game. If you take out the subscription, the game's on Stadia, Luna, Xbox, and whatever, all the cloud gaming services, but you have to buy the game. It's not part of subscription. Where would you play that game?
Okay, well, this is no joke. I would pick Stadia hands down first because I've got more accessibility on the devices that I own: iPad, TV, browser, PC. But I do applaud GeForce Now quality of stream. So, like I said, I'm not dissing GeForce Now. I just feel like if they brought their service to more devices where I can have that true power, that 3080, of course I'd say GeForce Now, but at the moment it doesn't. To me, cloud has to be portable, not sitting at my PC going, ooh, or sitting on a device that I've just paid literally £200 for.
Great. I think we think alike. Again, Stadia is still the only one doing 4K. Really, without needing to. And me, I game a lot on the go. I have a Chromebook, a 4K Chromebook, and I do my gaming on there. And I have one exploit you guys know, which can output 1440p, and I'm always gaming on the go. And to me, like with my Chromebook, GFN is still limited to 1080p. So if I want to game on 4K on my Chromebook, I have to use Google Stadia. Now, GFN, the beautiful thing about it is that you can max out your settings, and graphically, of course, it's going to look better. But visually, that 4K goodness and 1440p goodness is a thing of beauty. But it's tough. It's tough. I would say
Okay, well, I'll give you the game. NBA. It's NBA. Oh, never mind. He's away. No worries. For me, GFN have changed the game. If I've got a game I want to buy now, it is going to be, if it's available on GFN, that's where I'm going to play it now. And just to point out the thing in the chat, that doesn't, who got their stuff free from GFN? That's a very interesting comment. Shall I go get my Stadia mug I got off them? So I think that comment is just really, really poor, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't get anything free from anyone actually. So
Yeah. So it's a bit naughty, that comment. I appreciate anything I sort of get, and it's not expected or anything like that. GFN have just totally changed the game, and once you play on that 1440p or the 4K on your Shield, you can't go back to anything else. Absolutely, and
So it's like yeah, for example, Far Cry 6. If I buy that on my GeForce Now, I'm limited to the device that I'm playing at. If I buy Far Cry 6 on Stadia, I can move all around my house, got CCUs, plus I can add it to my family library that 6 people can play. So to me, it's all about sharing and accessibility over me just consuming it in one place.
I've said this before, and I will say it again. You can family share in GFM.
What?
Through Steam.
Say who? How?
You can family. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to actually say it on here.
Oh,
but
look,
yes,
he's just said it now. Look, it's
You can family share with 7 people on GFN?
On Steam, because you're using the store. So there you go.
Okay. Well, yeah, I would like to know. I would like to know more about it.
So what you're saying, like GeForce Now, you're saying Steam shares the family library. But what I'm trying to say, if I have to give my credentials to my family, wouldn't I, to access my GeForce Now account? Where with Stadia, they use their own login details, and it's tied to that family account. So I think it's two different things.
All horses. It's horses for courses. I'm sharing my my library with Kelly, who logs onto the Shield, and it's already in her name. She just logs on bang into her name, and away she goes on the family share.
I mean, but we're only comparing like what happened this year in 2021, right?
Yeah,
I mean, family sharing happened back in 2020, right? And
yeah,
2040p is it for me, man. Like that's changing the game.
And it is totally changing the game, and the moves they've made have been absolutely brilliant. But I think before I get to my score, I think it's worth pointing out they need to get more sports games on it. They need EA's sports games on. It's not even for the PC. It's more just to expand it out, because GTP has nailed this here. You go look at the games on Steam. What the vast majority of the most popular games on Steam, they are on GFM. You look in the top 10 at the moment, there's only one notable exception the last time I checked there, which I think everybody knows what it is. But they are hitting the marks there.
They have the games that are great on the Steam library, but I feel like Clouds is evolving past console and PC, but they don't have the best games that define generations or genres. You know
like
what I
what?
mean?
Give an example of what?
Mortal Kombat or Tekken in fighting, Project Cars or Need for Speed or Burnout in races, Final Fantasies or other RPGs in RPGs.
They've got a bigger game than Project Cars on GFN, and I've been playing it this over the last couple of weeks.
What's it called?
Assetto Corsa it's Assetto Corsa, but I can't pronounce the full name. That is one of the biggest games there racing games there is. There's competitions based off that. The game I want them to actually bring is iRacing, but that's a different sort of topic there. You go, GFN is a PC gamers cloud service, and they have got the PC games there.
Fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I'm going to name one game. I'm going to name, and it has had more top-end subscribers than a lot of the games you'll be saying all combined. And like Valheim had 500,000 people playing that at one time, and that is more than Resident Evil, Guardians of the Galaxy. You can name a whole load of AAA games combined at their peak concurrence.
Are people still playing Valheim?
Yeah, they are. I think it's still in the top 100 there. There's people still playing New World, which has dropped off a cliff out there. It's averaging over 100,000 people playing that.
Okay.
Again, there's all these things that have been put out there. So my score is 8. Sorry, my score is 9. The reason I haven't actually gave it higher is because of some of the whoopsies they've done this year. I think we need to get a couple more of the big developers on board, and frame rate cap gate, but if you want to call it that. But they've seemed to have rectified. They've sort of fixed that.
Okay. So we got 9 from GTP, 10 from Gamer, 9 from Duncan. Tito, where you at with this?
So I'm going to give them 8 out of 10.
Okay.
And just for the record, GeForce Now, it's has always been my favorite cloud gaming service.
Okay.
2021, I think they have been consistent when it comes to adding games. They have added a lot of good indie games. If you don't like indie games, probably you don't care. They have also been including a lot of popular games, not all of them, but more than any other cloud gaming service. Some might argue, okay, Xbox Cloud Gaming or Xbox Game Pass or however it's called, xCloud, has more popular games that have been just released and added to the service, but Xbox Cloud is not a viable option for most of us. So games added to GeForce Now 2021, very good. I wish it could be better, of course, like everyone else, but I think we cannot complain really. As I said, I probably I'm not the only one who's buying games that is not playing because you don't basically have time for it, right? And with the GFN 3080, it got us by surprise to most of us. I mean, and when you play GeForce Now on 40K 60 FPS on NVIDIA Shield TV, that's a totally different story. For instance, Stadia. I'm not going to say that Stadia 4K image quality is bad because I don't think it's bad, but personally, I don't think that's good enough for a 4K picture quality. But GeForce Now is impressive. Considering it's cloud gaming, the 4K image quality is impressive. As I said, catalog is growing, it keeps getting better. I wish it was better, yeah. But, it is what it is. We know they don't, unless that they decide to change their business model and pay the publishers, they cannot get any game that is on Steam. Then why I give them 8 out of 10, even if I think they have blown out of water any other cloud gaming service this year, because I think they still should have done better. As you know, I'm Spanish. Even if I play in English, my little brothers, they play in Spanish because they don't speak English. And I know well from the Spanish gaming community, not a lot of games, but many games in GeForce Now, even if the developers created the game in Spanish or Italian or French or whatever might be their language, don't have that language on GeForce Now. That's that's a deal breaker for some people. I know some people who choose to play on Stadia because the game is not in Spanish in GeForce Now.
Yeah.
So this is some things that they definitely need to improve. And the same with the logins. Since I have the 3080, GeForce Now is never asking me to log into my account. But when I was a founder, sometimes I had to log in every 5 days. Sometimes I have to log in every 20 minutes. So the ease of use is not, it should be improved. I personally think it should be improved. And those are my main cons of the service. It should be a bit easier, and they should give more importance to the language support, because especially for the customers who don't speak English, they are not going to bother to go to NVIDIA site, to send feedback, and then the guy from the NVIDIA who's replying to them in Spanish, French, or Italian, tell them, okay, can you please send feedback from the application, but please write it in English? People is not going to bother. It's too much hassle. Okay, I give up. I go to Stadia. I go to, well, not Luna because we don't have it in Europe, not xCloud because it's not good enough for most people. They should improve, but still, I think it has been a tremendous year for GeForce Now. I love it, even if I'm giving them 8 out of 10 because I think there are things that should be improved, and it hasn't been perfect. Those issues that I'm mentioning that have been there for more than a year and are still there, probably affecting the minority of users. But those minority of users, might switch to another service and never come back. So I think, there is room for improvement, even if it has been great, especially thank you to the 3080 rig.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay. Overall grade 8. So holds you were what, 7, 6?
6.
6. GTP 9. Gamer 10, Duncan. So I'll round it off. I'll say 7.5. Good. So throughout the year, I would have to say GFN was on my ish list, like realistically speaking. You guys heard me say weeks multiple times, right? But then they dropped at 3080. So grade wise, it was like coasting at a 5. Beginning of the year, coasting. They got some games, brought it up to 6.5. 3080 drop, I would say, took it to an 8.5. New World came, great. Never touched the game. It's not my type of game, but happy because, again, a lot of PC gamers really love that game. Kenna, great stuff. EA support back, great stuff. And then just like Google Stadia, second half of the year, GFN just went on vacation, man. I don't know what happened, but they went on vacation with the game releases, man. Right?
I got the question.
Hold
100 games in the second half, or in the last 3 months, is went on vacation, and Stadia only brought 100 games.
100 simulators, dude. Like, let's be real, 100 simulators, right?
But
They
you
went
know,
on vacation, right?
some of the simulators are super popular.
Hold up. Listen. These guys drop a 3080 rig, right? And you wanted me to play PC building, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dudes, right? Final Fantasy VII Remake came, right? Where was that, right? So again, they were an 8.5 for me. When that 3080 dropped, New World came, Crisis came. It's like, all right, these people get it, right? They're gonna be bringing more AAA game to push that 3080, and then they just went to sleep in the end of the year with the AAA bangers, right? So right now they're the 7.5, but like I stated with all the other platforms, they laid the foundation. Hold on 1 second, guys. 1 second.
Yes, it's talking about him. It's Jack saying 100 games, 100 games in the last couple of months, and it was weak.
I agree with Ace.
Ace is salty, man. He's salty.
Ace only paid attention to the last week of the year.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's like you praise it because the 3080's just dropped 2 months ago, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" But what about the other 10 months? We had
Final Fantasy, guys. That's it.
Yeah, with that, the games
it wasn't
which were
just Final Fantasy. It was like Kingdom Hearts. There was other titles that never came.
Why did they go on were they on Stadia? Were they on Stadia?
No, of course, yeah. That's GeForce Now were tied to Epic and Steam. So when you say they had partnerships with all these storefronts, they should have had it.
Yeah, dude, they dropped the ball, man. Anyway, just 7.5. It's gracious, man. They could have easily kept that 8.5 to a 9. You know, they just needed to end the year with some bangers. But again, instead they give us some simulators to wrap up the year. But shout outs to that 3080 foundation was laid. And again, we're gonna get into 2022, and I feel like GTP was saying, tech wise, these guys have upped the game, right? So they don't have to worry about that in 2022, where I feel Xbox Cloud Gaming, Luna, even possibly Stadia might need to up their tech game, right? But GFN 2022 is ahead, but they need to bring those bangers to showcase that 3080 tier, man. Again, enough with the simulators, man. But let's talk about 2022. Man, we'll leave 10 minutes for it.
I'll just start this one off because, right, you know what? For all platforms, what I want to see for all services is...
Hold on. Before let's cover everything, right? So for the sake of time, I know we went with each, but let's this is everything. This is what I actually want to bring to cloud for everyone. Everything.
Bandai Namco has to speak up and say, with the Dragon Balls, the Elden Rings, we need Capcom to sit there and bring Resident Evil 4. We need to bring them, Street Fighter. We need Square Enix to bring Forspoken and, Stranger of Paradise Origins. We need EA to sit there and start saying FIFA, Madden, other sports games, Dead Space, and Need for Speed this year, and we need Warner Brothers to bring Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Suicide Squad, and everything else they've got.
Where they will be.
And no matter what, I don't care if it's a little section here or a little section there, or they all get it. The developers have to come out and speak soon to start telling me if they want my money in the cloud. If not, sorry, I'm going back to local if they start dropping the ball. I really love where they are now for up to 4K 60. I love the 3080, but if these hard games are not coming knocking on the door, then I'm out.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's target individually though, if you can. Like Google Stadia, what do you want to see from them? GFN, what do you want to see from them? 2022.
Well, so with Stadia quickly, I want to see EA games come back. I would love to see FIFA 20, the next one, 2023. I would love to see support by Square Enix, of course, and Bandai Namco. I'd love to see Dragon Ball Z come back again. So the annual games keep on coming back. That's what I want. GeForce Now, I'm really happy to see that they're bringing games from my library like Battlefield 1, 4, 5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I just want them to start bringing more of the titles that I've got in my library and start bringing more of the publishers that I actually like to see, which I've just named then. Luna, come to the UK ASAP. PlayStation Now, update the resolution, get on more devices, and Xbox, just keep on doing what they're doing because I'm really satisfied with them. Just make sure you bring some more games through the Bethesda or EA partnership.
4K support for Xbox Cloud Gaming, performance. Okay. How about you, GTP? 2022 predictions for each cloud gaming service?
Super easy. I'll pretty much put you every cloud gaming service in wanting the exact same thing for all of them. I think first, really quickly though, since that's going to be quick, I will say listening to this conversation comes back to the same thing I say all of the time. If you're really super interested in cloud gaming, you better go shop around because none of them offer like the same kind of libraries. Sure. And more importantly, if you don't game on any local hardware and you're a cloud gamer, you are missing out on a ton of games. You're going to be missing out on a ton of games for a long time because no cloud service is going to have all the games and all the great games that are coming out. So what you're going to see is just all this fragmentation of games everywhere. So just always do your research when you're getting into that because everyone likes to talk about features, but nobody gets heated till it comes down to content. And that's the number one thing for all cloud gaming in 2022 is to continue a hard focus on content because at the end of the day, when it comes to gaming, that's going to be all that matters. Besides that, I want to make sure cloud gaming continues to reach as many people as possible. However, they do that between territories and devices and quality control. I want that experience to be consistent for as many people as possible on each service. So content, consistency, and reaching as many people as possible once you have that.
Okay.
That's for all cloud.
Who do you think is going to do it the best this year? And Holtz, I'm going to get back to you with that question too.
I think Luna will continue to be a little too slow. I think Stadia is still kind of trying to figure out their direction a little bit. I don't think they're anywhere near dead. I think they still have some fantastic tech behind them, but they've really floundered, so they don't know where they're headed yet. I'm looking at GFN and Xbox to continue making the bigger moves in 2022. But something we haven't talked about here tonight is Sony's cooking up some cool stuff for 2022, apparently. So I will be watching out for that because I do like PS Now on my PS5 and stuff. So we'll be watching that too. But I think some of the bigger guys, which gets back to the same thing I always say, PS Now for PlayStation people, xCloud for Xbox people, GFN for PC people. And I think those are the ones you'll continue to see make the big moves in 2022.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Duncan? Give a round out 2022. Where do you see this platform heading, and which one do you think is going to make the most impact?
I'm going to just start off slightly different. I think this is the year we're going to see the fragmentation completely and utterly go bananas. I think we're going to see a load of cloud gaming services coming to the marketplace, and it is going to be a fight for the content going forward. I've got horrible thoughts that the AT&T cloud gaming with Warner Brothers is going to fragment that over in the States, so the new games coming out from them may just go onto that service. maybe just testing the water. I from the big ones here, Stadia. I just want Stadia to give us something to get excited about, because there's nothing really out there for Stadia to get excited about. If you look at their 2022 lineup, it is Mia, and that's being nice. There's nothing there to get yourself going. I want to play in Stadia. And I really hope they come out with some sort of roadmap just to get us excited again about Stadia, and not have to worry about going into these gaming conferences and not having any logos or anything like that. GFN, I just want them to get a big publisher on board, or a couple of them, to start expanding out their content. Luna expansion, more channels. And again, this is all nice and quick. Xbox, I want Xbox this year to give us a tease of their cloud-only games that they're cooking up. It might still be a bit early for it, but I would love to see their cloud-only games. PlayStation now is the curveball out from all of the known entities out here. They could do something big, or it could be just a ticking over and just doing the rebrand, which is rumored to be happening here soon. So it's going to be an interesting sort of time.
Okay. So who takes it 2022? Who do you see like dominating?
Dominating? I don't see anybody dominating. I don't
Okay.
think there's going to be a big out winner. I think it's going to be a year of fragmentation and more everybody going to be about the same. And I hope it, again, the only one I can see maybe thrown as the big massive curveball is PlayStation for this year.
Okay. Fair enough. Thanks for that. How about you, gamer? 2022 predictions for each cloud game platform, and which one do you think kills it this year?
Yeah, I think to save time, I'll just agree with both Duncan and Jerry regarding everyone has to step it up. We need to see more parity and across each platform regarding consistency, infrastructure-wise, and performance for the users. But I think a dark horse is going to be Stadia's white labeling service. To Duncan's point, the fragmentation, I think Stadia is onto something big there. And if they can continue to prove product market fit with that side of the business, I do have concerns for Stadia as a storefront, but do I believe it'll ever go away? No, it probably won't. It might take a sort of a backseat shift to the white labeling service, because I can see that really, really blossoming and becoming something huge for Google, because the tech just works and it works phenomenally. And users that probably would be interested in the white labeling service, such as the AT&T people, maybe there's another brand, or hell, you might see rental car services jumping into this thing, right? While you wait for a car, jump on and play some games, right? These are all the opportunities that are available here, and Stadia's hardware is the best at that. So it's the best regarding the consistent experience. So that business can be even better than what Stadia had intended with with the storefront. So that's my dark horse in terms of who takes this whole thing. I think that's going to be tough, but I believe Xbox will continue to blow us away with content and improvements to the service in 2022.
I hear that. Good stuff, gamer. Man, my kids today, man. I don't know what's going on. I think my wife fell asleep. But how about you, Tito? Where do you see this platform going in 2022, and who do you see coming out on top?
Well, first of all, I'm quite bad for predictions, so whatever I'm going to say now probably is not going to happen. And in any case, to be honest, I consider Stadia at the moment a failure, but I struggle to believe that it's going to be a failure in the long term. I don't think they will kind of white label and change the business model anytime soon. But again, I really think Stadia will win in the future. Will be one of the winners in the future. Again, I don't see it happening in Q1, probably not in Q2, but I'm guessing that Google is waiting for, I don't know which year, which trimester to spend the money and start bringing titles and so on. So I really cannot believe that they launched Stadia. All the good criticism they have at the beginning, the positive reviews. Last year it was crap for most of the people. Again, not for everyone. I know a lot of people is enjoying it, but for most of the people, it was a disappointment. And I struggle to believe 2022 is going to be the same for Stadia. I think they're going to do much better. When? I got no idea. But I think it will be, they will impress people again. What I would like to see from Stadia, better image quality. As simple as that. That's the main thing that I don't like about the Stadia. Now, moving on to GeForce Now. Again, my favorite service. But I think that this is the one that is going to have a more difficult year. Why? All the publishers benefit from having their games on Game Pass, on PlayStation Now, on Amazon Luna. If those companies want their game, let's say Tekken, Dragon Ball Fighters, or wherever, they have to pay a big check to the publisher. Nvidia is not paying anyone. And some of those publishers are going to say, okay, I give you money, Amazon, I give you money, Microsoft or Sony. But they are going to say, okay, I give you the money, but you cannot put your game on any of the other cloud gaming service. So I'm not very positive in terms of popular titles for Nvidia GeForce Now. Hopefully I'm wrong, like usually with all my predictions. And that's how I see it. Now, Xbox Cloud Gaming, Game Pass is amazing. Honestly, I have a Series X, Game Pass is amazing. But I don't know how much room for improvement they have. The reason why I say that is because we all had GeForce Now as founders or priority, right? Users. And we saw that if you are connected to one server as a founder, then later you connect to the same server as a 30, 80 member, the latency improves. Or not the latency, but the feeling of having a more smooth experience, less input lag. That says to me that how powerful the computer or the console is affects a lot the feeling of smooth gameplay that you're going to have. And Series X is a very powerful console, but I don't know if it's powerful enough for them to improve the feeling of having a smooth gameplay experience, input lag free. So I don't know what is the limit for Xbox Cloud Gaming. Library is amazing. I know they don't have more games than GeForce Now, but they have the mainstream games, and that's what most people care about. So it will keep improving, but I don't know how much, to be honest, when it comes to Xbox Cloud. Now, PlayStation Now, as I always say, they just need to push the button. They have a PlayStation 4 Remote Play for Android. They have PlayStation Now for PCs, so they just need to push the button, merge it, and we can have PlayStation Now on TVs, and that will be massive. And the last one, Amazon Luna, I think it could be one of the winners. Why? Because it has the best of the Stadia and the best of GeForce Now. It runs on Windows, at least till date. It runs from on Windows servers, so they don't need to do any ports with the Stadia, and it's like kind of a Stadia experience, console-like experience. So if they manage to release their product, their service in Europe this year, if they manage to get servers to give 4K streaming quality, Luna could be easily the winner of the year. But yeah, let's see. As I always say, whatever I predict, it's not going to happen. So, but those are my predictions.
Sure. I like it. Well, we'll see. Again, next year we'll come back and do the same thing here. But I think a lot of you guys are right on, right? Stadia, again, 2021, let's just say it was the year of laying the foundation, right? So going forward, Stadia, get more games, right? Improve marketing. That's all I ask, right? Again, if they can work on getting most of the AAA games that releases third party wise, I think they'll be fine. Amazon Luna, pick it up, slow paced. If they can get the 4K rolling, get more channels, have a storefront, I feel like they'll be good. But again, the foundation, well, they hardly laid any foundation 2021. But I feel like they have the most work to do to catch up right now. But again, we always say they have Prime, and once they push that, they should be fine, right? That rhymed. But anyway, yeah, Amazon Luna, potential there. I would have to say Xbox Cloud Gaming, bring your storefront, improve quality, let consistency be a thing with performance, get you 4K, my goodness, get 4K, get Android TV support. I know a lot of people wanting this stupid dongle that I don't think they need, right? Just make your app available on Android TV and push 4K through it. I don't see why that's so difficult unless you're money hungry, Microsoft, but make that be a thing, right? I want to be able to play my Xbox games on my Android TV in 4K. Hopefully, it's not too much to ask for, right? But that's what they have to do. Sony, we know they're working on some stuff. They might be the sleeping giant, right? Again, we'll see what Project Spartacus is all about. Should be announced here in about 2 months, so not too long. But again, if they can rival what Microsoft is doing with Game Pass same day release, which I doubt, but improve performance, get PlayStation Now on more devices instead of just Windows based, I think they should be fine. Shadow PC is another beast too, which we know they're working on stuff. But yeah, this is going to be a great year for cloud gaming, great year for games as a whole. But I think it'll be cool to come back next year, do this again, and see how close these companies got to what we are predicting here. But yeah, fellas, that is the show. Appreciate you guys watching. Gonna give the members chance to let you guys know what they're doing, where you can find them. So to get started, Holtz, what do you do, sir, and where can people find you?
So I'm usually a cloud enthusiast that you can actually see me on a lot of other people's podcasts and panels throughout the year and all that. But now I've finally got off my backside and set up my OBS with Melon, set up my avatar, set up my logo behind me, and all my text, so I'm ready to go. So I just need to pick a game and pick a topic, and off I go. So with the Cloud Gaming Club. So I hope people that tune in whatever panel or podcasts, please come along and say hi, and we'll discuss everything clouds or clouds hardware hybrid approach.
Do you have like a date of streaming or like a day where you officially
It's gonna be one of them games where when I'm starting from the first hour, I'm gonna click stream and poof, off I go.
Cool.
So whatever game, it could be God of War, it could be Monster Hunter
There you
Rise,
go. Hey,
it could be something in the clouds, it could be I don't know, Life is Strange remastered, or it's gotta be something that I have to start from the start.
cool. We've been pushing you, man. It's pretty cool to see it finally happening. But yeah, definitely make sure you give Holtz a look. This is exciting stuff, man. Gamer, what do you do? Where can people find you, sir?
Find me on Twitter and right here, man. That's pretty much it right now. So busy with life stuff. So yeah, just tune in right here if you want me.
Cool, man. It's good to see you, Gamer. GTP, sir, what do you do? Where can people find you?
Firstly, I'm just gonna say Holtz better be done teasing us, because it's been like a year and a half that he's been about to do this. I'm like, dude, I'm waiting for this content so I can absorb Holtz more.
I finally just got back. I just finally got back to standing up, and I'm just want to be energetic and play games with everyone and talk about. That's what I want.
I still absolutely love how you describe a lot of the games that you play, and a lot of them are ones I don't even dip into, and it gets me so interested. So I've been bugging you for over a year to get it going. So it's going to be great. You guys know Game Tech Planet, YouTube, Discord, Twitter, variety content for cloud, consoles, PC, whatever. I do it all. So if you're interested, go check it out.
Cool, man. Good to see you, GTP.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's fun discussion pieces, man. Good stuff. Tito, what do you do, sir? Where can people find you?
Sorry, yeah. So yeah, Tino, where can you find me? For my españoles y latinos, GeForce Now en español Twitter account, GeForce Now en español YouTube channel, GeForce Now en español Twitch, where we just hold live talks like this one, but in Spanish. And now I'm going to start helping Ace, Marchik, and Harmonkey with Cloud Gaming Extreme in español. So those are all the places where you can find me. Yeah, you speak Spanish. If not, well, of course you are welcome to visit and talk to me.
Good stuff. Good to have you on here, Tito. Good take on the discussion pieces for sure.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. We saved the best for last, of course. Duncan, sir, what do you do? Where can people find you?
Best for that. You can find us at Cloudy with Games. We've got a whole a whole stack of stuff coming, which is going to be interesting. We've got some very interesting videos coming out. There's one which just dropped tonight. If you're a Shield TV user, it's be very interesting for you, because if you don't like going through all the keyboard and mouse stuff on your Shield TV, did you know there is an app? We show you that there is.
Ooh.
Oh, yes,
That's
that's what we're bringing. That's what we're bringing. Because we were just assuming everybody knew about it, and people didn't. So
wow.
there
That's
you
cool.
go.
That's cool. Check that out, guys. That's awesome. Good stuff. Good to have you on here, Duncan. For sure. So just want to give a shout out. I'm terrible at this, so just want to be better. So Brian, thank you for Super Chan in the stream, and all our members too. Really appreciate you guys supporting us. So thank you, Brian. And yeah, that is the show, guys. We will catch you guys next time. We are back officially to streaming Saturday 2 p.m. PST. So look forward to seeing you guys next time. Appreciate the polls. Appreciate you guys participating in the chat. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.